Hi everyone. You may remember me from a few months ago. My name is Megan, and I am a relatively new Weezer fan. But, I've been getting into it. I've been annoying my friends by telling them Pacific Daydream is my favorite album. Really just to be annoying. But I have finally entered the long-awaited Pinkerton Arc. I'm not happy about it. The Pinkerton Arc does not seem like a fun place to be. It seems a little depressing. I think that might actually be defining of the Pinkerton arc. But, you know, it's got to happen. There comes a time in every new Weezer fan's life where they become obsessed with the album Pinkerton. So I'm sitting down for the first time. And at first, I was just going to post a video of my ranking. However, I figured I hadn't actually done the ranking yet. So I might as well just film myself trying to rank these songs. And of course, I am currently listening to Pinkerton. I can't put this in the video for copyright reasons, but yes. So we're going to get into it. We're going to rank Pinkerton, and we're going to see if everyone gets mad at me or not. So here we go. Okay. So we got the 10 original tracks. I am not ranking deluxe because that would take way too long, and I don't know what I would do for that either. So here we go. Okay. So I think it's probably going to be easiest if I start from the bottom. Maybe not. This is going to be really, really hard. I think probably my least favorite is Tired of Sex, simply because what do you think Rivers knows about sex? Absolutely nothing. Weezer is the band for virgins. He doesn't know what he's talking about. So we're going to put Tired of Sex on the bottom. Also, I just think, well, it kind of fits thematically with the rest of the album. It's really overexposed, and I think that it does not set the album up well for enjoyment. It's kind of jarring, which might be the point, but even if it's the point, it's not something that I particularly enjoy. So I'm going to put Tired of Sex as my least favorite track on the album. Okay. My next least favorite is I'm going to have to go with Get You. Not because there's anything particularly wrong with Get You. It's just kind of repetitive. It is not something that I would associate with the greatness that is the album Pinkerton. Get You, super compelling lyrics, I know, but like, I don't know, just not vibing with Get You. I think everything else on the album is much better than it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I think it's bad. I don't really think any of this album is bad. I really, really enjoy it. It is quickly climbing up in the rankings of my Weezer albums. So we will continue going with this. Okay. Next, I'm going to go with Across the Sea. First off, Rivers, she wasn't 18. The fact that you had to tell us how old she was makes it even more suspicious. I don't know. It's just not my thing. I understand it, kind of, but I can't really relate personally to, falling in love with somebody who lives across the sea. I mean, I will say, I have cried to Across the Sea once when I was going through it because long distance kind of sucks. However, I can communicate in more than letters, and I got to talk to my boyfriend last night, and that made me happy. So right now I'm not relating to Across the Sea. For that reason, I'm going to put it as number 8. Okay. Then I'm going to go with No Other One. I have to say, No Other One does deserve some points simply because that sequence of words comes up really, really often in like regular speech, and so I can quote it. And I think it's funny, but I also think that that's a reason it should be ranked low, because other people hate it when I quote it, because I've been informed that I'm getting a little bit obsessive about Weezer, and no one wants to hear about it this often. So we're going to put No Other One as number 7, not because I don't like it again, just because, you know, it's not particularly compelling. I think it's got some good stuff. It's kind of in this upper half of it, more than half of it. There's just some really good songs, and something has to go low. So I'm going to put it as this. Next, I'm going to go with Pink Triangle. This is kind of surprising because Pink Triangle was one of the original songs that got Weezer on my radar, made me start like kind of thinking about it, just because there is no more iconic musical line than "I'm dumb, she's a lesbian." I just think that's really funny. People like to sing it with me. It kind of bangs when you're just hanging with the homies. And I am a huge Pink Triangle fan, but I am a huge everything on Pinkerton above this fan. And so it does have to go low, even though I absolutely adore this song and think it's hilarious. And I think all of the layers of irony and artistry in this songwriting is just, it's amazing. And I love this song. However, it does land its spot at number 6, which is funny that it ends up in the bottom half. But alas, we only go up from here. Okay. The next one I'm going to say is Butterfly. Butterfly is the first Weezer song that I ever cried to. Granted, I've only cried to like 3 Weezer songs, but this was one of them. It was the moment that I cried to this song when I knew that I had to make the original Weezer fan coming out video. In fact, I went to the grocery store. This came on the radio, or not on the radio, but on my Bluetooth shuffle. I cried to that song. When I got back to my apartment, I knew I had to come out as a Weezer fan. So this song actually has a lot of importance to me, just in my personal life, because that's when I became a Weezer fan, and also just because it is a great artistic, I love this song. I love this album, but I love this song, and it's really indicative of me actually being able to come out and live my truth as a Weezer fan. And so I've really appreciated that experience. Okay. Now it gets really, really hard, because these 4 songs are I think some of the best songs Weezer has ever written. And I love it. We're going to go Why Bother as my number 4. Simply because, my first exposure to this song was actually in the deluxe track on Pinkerton, Long Time Sunshine. And it was the really slowed down version of the chorus of this song. And so it was kind of jarring to me when I listened to this one, because I'm like, wait a minute, why is Why Bother so fast? This one does get stuck in my head a lot, but it is just a little bit too pick me. Like, oh, why bother? It's going to hurt me. It's going to kill when you desert me. Like, yes, I understand the fear of like, wanting to be with somebody and thinking that it's not going to end well. Like, I totally get that. Personally, I think it's a little bit too whiny to be like one of my favorite songs, but I really, really do enjoy this song. I'm really getting into more of this rock sound. And so I've been really vibing with that recently. And I really appreciate the rock sound of all of Pinkerton, but we're getting a little bit more up into it at this point. Okay. These last 3 songs, this is super, super, super hard for me. On my first listen, I absolutely hated El Scorcho. I thought it was the stupidest song in the world. Now, it's iconic. Also, shout out to my friends over at Kaiser Krish, because Krish and Griffin have informed me that El Scorcho was actually, or I forget, is the same influence, or the other that was influenced by El Scorcho or something, but its connection to the song Loser by Beck, and kind of like the just jamming out, like chill guitar beat and like saying stupid stuff over it. But like they both, El Scorcho and Loser, make really, really good songs. And I just want to thank them for pointing that out, because I have such a great appreciation for them now. And also, just the opening line to El Scorcho, absolutely iconic. I know that with a lot of tracks on this album is they are kind of problematic. And I think that the addition of Rivers writing these songs as an unreliable narrator, saying things that he knows are problematic, but that's kind of the pain that comes with that still kind of adolescent young adult vibe of, hey, I'm navigating these new feelings around love and how I feel about people, and different people who may not want me, who do want me, who I think should want me but don't. And so that exploration and his just willingness and freedom to say things that, you know, maybe are not the most socially acceptable, I really, really appreciate that about this album. Not because they're things that should be condoned, not because of these are things that should be normalized, but because I think that it just provides a really good way for people to realize that, hey, we all kind of feel these like toxic, problematic feelings at times. Don't fixate on them. You can move on from them. You can enjoy them as this secondary piece of art, but you also don't have to dwell on that. You can just kind of enjoy it, recognize it for what it is, and move on. And so I think that's just a really good thing about this album and El Scorcho in general. The Good Life, upon my very first listen to this album, The Good Life was my favorite track. Just because, especially with everything that's been going on in the world in the past 2 years or so, I know I've gone through a big personal transition, you know, graduating high school, moving to college, all of that stuff. And it's just this feeling of you're missing out on things all the time. Not because it's your fault, not because it's anyone's fault around you, but just because, hey, you know, things happen in life that we can't control. I am a very big person on just taking things as they come. I love planning things out. My planner is probably my most prized possession. But I am somebody who hates to dwell on the past, somebody who hates to dwell on what could have been. And so sitting here being like, oh, the last 2 years did not go according to my plan. It's really easy for a lot of people to get really bogged down by that. And I am just a firm believer in, hey, this is what's going on in the world. I can't change it. Let's make a plan in accordance with the current situation, and we can still make a good situation out of this. And so taking a moment to step back, listen to a song like The Good Life, and recognize, hey, you know, you spend 90% of your life dealing with bad things that have been happening to you. It's okay to sit there and wish that things weren't bad. It's okay to sit down and wish that everything had gone according to your plan. It's okay to want to go back to that good life that you had planned for yourself. And so I've very, very much enjoyed listening to The Good Life. It's been a really healthy release for me, I think, as somebody who likes to beep boop their emotions away. I think that has been just healthy, cathartic, and that song has also been really important to me. Falling for You. I did not like this song upon first listen either, not because of content, just because I did not vibe with it. As I've been getting into more of the appreciation of the production of this album and just of music from this era in general, Falling for You has really, really grown on me. You know, I like you way too much. Like, I feel like everyone who has liked somebody has related to those lines and understood that, like, even if you're not with someone, as things are kind of unfolding, as things are kind of just like starting, it's kind of hard to be like, oh yeah, like I kind of like them. There's some mild interest there. And as somebody who likes to be a girl boss and pretends they're independent and says that they don't feel emotions and all of those things, to have to sit down and admit that I like someone, like, that is very hard, but also to be able to kind of channel those emotions into a edgy, angsty song where it's like, ugh, I like you way too much. I'm afraid I'm falling for you. It's like, yeah, I don't want to admit this. I'm going to be angsty. I'm going to be angry about it. But also at the same time, you can tell that there's like so much passion behind those words. So that song is also super, super important to me. And I know I'm just rambling at this point, but I genuinely am having a lot of trouble ranking these last 3 songs right now. So I just thought I would talk through it a little bit. Okay, so I've kind of narrowed it down. The Good Life and Falling for You, important to me because they're good songs and also they're a little bit sentimental. El Scorcho, important to me just because it's fun. Like, it is so fun. Like, I asked you to go to the Green Day concert. You said you never heard of them. How cool is that? Like, that's just such a stupid line, but it's so funny and it gets me every time. And I just love these lyrics. Oh my God. This is so hard. Okay. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go El Scorcho third, because while I put this song on more because it's actually fun, it did not, I don't know. It's like a fun jamming out rocky song, not like a, I don't know. It doesn't have the same depth, but I still really like it. This is really hard, but I think that's what I'm gonna do. Um, okay, I'm gonna put The Good Life as my favorite track. That was my favorite track upon first listen. And then it kind of like I kind of stopped having that be my favorite track, but I think it's back up to my favorite track again. So I'm gonna say that. So I guess that leaves Falling for You in number 2. This actually seems right. Okay, so here's my final ranking in order. Yeah, so my favorite song on the album, Pinkerton, Good Life, then Falling for You, El Scorcho. Oh my God, I love these songs. Why Bother, Butterfly, Pink Triangle, No Other One, Across the Sea, Get You, and finally Tired of Sex. So, favorite song on the album, The Good Life. Least favorite song on the album, Tired of Sex. I would rate this album. I love this album so much. It's really grown on me. We're entering the Pinkerton arc now. Hopefully that this gives me a little bit of credibility and I'm not as much of a casual Weezer fan anymore. I mean, I've heard more than half of their discography. I feel like I deserve at least to be called a fan of Weezer, even if I'm not like a hardcore fan of Weezer. I'm definitely a fan of Weezer. I don't think I'm a casual anymore now that I've completed my Pinkerton ranking. So let me know your thoughts on that. But yeah, okay. Here's my ranking of Pinkerton. Everyone should go stream it. Go stream The Good Life. It's a wonderful song, and everything else too. So yes, thank you for listening to me or not listening to me. I wouldn't listen to me. I probably will never go back and watch this video again, but you take nothing away from this video. It's go listen to Pinkerton. Pinkerton is pretty awesome. Bye.